What's up, my boomers? It's me, Melanie Mac, here on my social commentary channel, Melanie Mac Go Boom. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. So, for today's video, I got a bit of a doozy. A Twitch streamer, she is like dealing with all kinds of crap now from her top donator, essentially wanting a personal relationship with her, and because she would not offer that, he is now suing her, demanded chargebacks. His bank agreed in his favor. Now there's a giant lawsuit going on. So before I continue just paraphrasing this, let me just dive right in. Now, before I get started, as a lot of you know, streamers, content creators, and stuff like that, unless they are just pulling in a ton of viewers and getting a bank from like ad revenue or something like that, you know, we rely on viewer support. It's just how it is. And that goes for male and female content creators. It's not just a female specific thing. So yeah, I mean, that's part of the business. Now, unfortunately, while most people who do support their favorite content creators, and I can speak like for my supporters and things like that, 99.99999% of y'all are so amazing, and you know what you're doing. You know you're paying that money to support my content so that I can keep doing this at a full-time basis. And so there is that understanding there. But unfortunately, there's always going to be that one person who thinks that by throwing $5 your way or more, that means that they're owed a personal relationship. And that's always uncomfortable when that line is crossed. And it has happened. My top donator on Twitch, I ended up having to ban him everywhere because that happening. Granted, he hasn't tried to sue me or anything like that, but like in this case, but yeah, he was calling me a lot of names on my social media like Instagram, TikTok, all that, and then just very upset that I would not have personal and private conversations with him. And he's like, why do I even donate then? And even though I've made it exceptionally clear on all of my stuff that anybody who supports my content, it is to support my content so I can keep doing this. It's not for a personal relationship. That's not the business that I do. So anyway, before I just make this all about me, let me go ahead and dive into this article. All right, Twitch streamer threatened with romance fraud lawsuit from viewer. Twitch streamer Miss Kinner says a wealthy donor has allegedly compromised her income, threatened to dox her, and even suggested legal action, all because she wouldn't reciprocate their feelings of affection. However, donations for viewers are a large part of how smaller Twitch streamers make their money. However, Destiny 2 streamer Miss Kinner has shared her experience with a generous donor who she claims has been affecting her income after she didn't feel the same way they felt about her. Every streamer should be aware of situations like this. On April 16th, Ms. Kinner posted a tweet longer detailing her experiences with a certain viewer who's a public figure in the music industry, which to me, that makes it so much worse. A public figure, even though it's a different industry, should know better. All right, so he was always an insane gifter and donator, she explained. Well, now I see he is just literally insane. After allegedly receiving tons of donations from this individual across a variety of platforms, the viewer eventually revealed they were romantically interested in the streamer. Kenner, who has a husband and children, obviously didn't feel the same way. This led the viewer to reportedly dispute all his PayPal transactions and Twitch donations. That pushed me thousands into the negative, she said. I have been fighting with them, and today I received word that his bank decided in his favor, which is insane. Now I have to pay all that back. Not only that, the viewer purportedly threatened her with a $5,000 lawsuit, romance fraud, and allegedly threatened to dox her and her family as well. Despite all the threats, Kenner said she was willing to fight for her income in court with her own lawyer, and on April 18th tweeted she had made progress on the chargebacks. I've made some progress with this. The whole payout is really not something that I'm going to hash on socials, she wrote. Just wanted everyone to know that stuff like this is very real and protect yourselves. Viewers thinking streamers owe them something for donating has been happening for years on Twitch, but Miss Kenner's situation shows just how scary it can really get. Yeah, this is insane. I feel bad that she has to go through all this, and but I mean, I don't see how he could win this. I don't know. I don't see how in any court of law you can see a situation of a streamer and think, oh, donating means you are owed personal time in a romantic relationship. That is never the case or implied. So one thing I've always done, like on my stream page, is I have this where you can leave tips, and I say tips help support me and my channel and are much appreciated. They are not mandatory, but certainly help a ton. Please note that tipping is for supporting me and my streams and are non-refundable. If you want to purchase something, you can take a look at my merch shop, but tips are purely for support and not a trade of goods. Thank you so much. I just make that clear on mine so people know. You know, I like to interact with my viewers, like when I'm streaming, in my comments, like when I'm making videos like this, when reading comments and things of that nature. But in terms of personal relationships, that's just not what I sell. It's all support is so freaking appreciated, and what that does is it just helps me keep doing what I'm doing. And so that's kind of how the content creator life is in general. So hopefully she gets all this sorted out. This looks like a giant pain in the neck, so hopefully he will have to owe her some money for the legal stuff and for the time that she had to put into all this. So anyway, with that said, let me go ahead and go into some comments from some of my recent videos. Lemia Tim says, between the NFL and Hollywood, it is hard to say who virtue signals harder while protecting some of the most corrupt, immoral members of society. And ain't that the truth? Oh, man. All right. Matsudaira says, have you shared your testimony? I don't recall you being so open in the past. Was it a life event or something you just kind of kept to yourself the whole time? I've noticed that a lot of YouTubers I follow seem to have their come to Jesus moment when they get in their 30s. I made on my other channel, my Melanie Mac channel, I have made videos sharing more of my testimony, but basically, like, I grew up in a Christian household my whole life, and so I've been a Christian all my life, and some people are under the impression that I'm newly saved, but the truth of the matter is, it's always been a part of my life. I just had a brief couple years or so where I turned against it for a bit because I was going through a rebellious phase in my late 20s. And then I just came back to it. Because I mean, that's the thing. I mean, even the Bible says is that you won't depart from it. Like, you know, children who are raised up in the way don't depart from it. And I felt that in my case. I just felt like God calling me back. I felt it on my heart, and it happened. It wasn't just some like specific moment. It was just, hey, God got the lost sheep back. All right, Sean Wickett says, the biggest problem with Christians trying to do Jesus's job for him, I guess they're looking for approval. And I say that as a Christian, just because you're saved doesn't mean you're free of sin. You're still alive and therefore still swimming in sin. Christians need to be more forgiving, like the dude they claim to follow. And I 1000% agree with that. I don't like the whole Pharisee type, holier than thou type Christian attitude, because the truth of the matter is we are all sinners. Even when you're saved, even when you're a Christian, you are still a sinner. It's like, it's only by the grace of God and Jesus Christ's sacrifice that we are saved. It's not by us. All right, Loyal says, you go ahead and preach away, Melanie. I'm a lifelong atheist and it doesn't bother me in the least. Ignore the haters and be you. Thank you for this. It really means a lot, because I do have my section of my videos where I do talk about my faith a lot, and I share the Bible and things like that. And it means a lot to have support from people even who don't share the same faith as me, because I get some backlash for it. I usually get a comment, at least one comment or so, per video, where people complaining about my verse of the day segment, and that I do incorporate my faith into my videos. Some people don't like it, but hey, you know, I don't ever do that in a way to shove my beliefs on anybody. I do that in a way to just share what's important to me, and this channel is my channel and it's important to me, and so I share it, and it does help some people. So hey, if it's not your thing, I totally respect that, but I hope I don't see how that should offend anybody. All right, Skylar says, I appreciate the little Bible study in the second part of the video regarding finding a soulmate or the one. I think Matt Walsh said it best. My wife became the one when I married her. In my own experience, my wife and I certainly felt like soulmates once we got to know each other, but it took time and a lot of serious discussions about our beliefs, standards, and convictions to arrive at that conclusion. We also both said several times that we had matured enough to know that what we really wanted in a spouse. Now, nearly 8 years and 4 kids later, love is more about conscious effort than euphoria and romantic giddiness. But that's what makes for a truly enduring relationship. I thought this comment was so amazing. Now, in my last video here, I did mention the concept of soulmates and how, like, you know, I'm a hopeless romantic, so the idea of it sounds so romantic and wonderful and all that. But after reading this, I think it just put a lot into perspective that I think the concept of, oh, we all have a soulmate who is absolutely perfect for us and all this, I think what that sets people up for is expecting everything to always be perfect and and for there to not be any problems. And the truth of the matter is, when it comes to relationships, they take work. It doesn't matter how perfect for each other you are, they take work and it takes effort. You can't just not put in any work into it and expect everything to be perfect. It's just like growing a flower or anything. You have to put love into it, you have to water it, you have to, all that kind of stuff. And so any type of relationship that you want to develop and to grow stronger, you have to put effort into. And so what is more romantic than the concept of, oh, there is one absolutely perfect person for you who was made for you and you were made for them? What's more romantic than that, and also the truth of the matter, is making someone your soulmate. You know what I mean? I think as a general principle, when it comes to people trying to find their person, I think you have your standard checklist type thing of like, okay, you want to have attraction to each other, first of all. And secondly, you want to make sure that your lifestyles will mesh. And so the important things that you can align on. But other than that, anything further from there is simply going to take effort. It's going to take effort into, hey, what makes this person happy? What is their love languages? What are mine? What kind of what kind of things do I need to compromise and they need to compromise, things like that. It takes two people putting in effort. And here's the reason why you look at even arranged marriages having higher success rate. I don't know, I think they do, than otherwise. Because, not that I want any type of arranged marriage or anything, but I'm just saying the reason why is because the truth of the matter is, when it comes to relationships, what makes relationships work isn't the fact that, oh, these two people are just so perfect for each other. Obviously, chemistry will make a huge difference, and some people do clash more than others. But at the end of the day, what makes relationships work are both people making it work, are both people putting in the effort. And yeah, that's key. Effort is key. Very well said. Thank you for the comment. Scott says, Hollywood and the government. It's incredible how similar they are when it comes to dirty deeds. Love your show and your hair looks great. Thank you so much. And you're so right. Two of extremely corrupt industries, and the NFL, like mentioned before. And I love the NFL, but just saying, very corrupt industry that tries to virtue signal a ton. I Am Lemons says, I like you sticking to your guns about the equally yoked issue. You can't give in to pushback when you're just following the Bible. Exactly. And there's, if I mention something in the Bible and someone has an issue with it, hey, don't take that up with me, because I ain't going to argue with the Bible. Kingslayer says, me thinks Amber Heard and Ezra Miller would be the perfect couple. That'd be something. Psycho says, whenever you talk about the verse of the day, I always feel peace in my spirit. God is obviously using you. Thank you so much. That means a lot. Zachary says, Christians should never date non-Christians. Missionary dating always ends badly. You can have a relationship, friendship, but it should never become romantic if you have incompatible worldviews. I agree with that. And I think there's a reason why that's in the Bible. Yeah. Let me go ahead and go into the verse of the day. Now I picked Jeremiah 17. Now I'm just going to read, let's see, what's my time looking like? Okay, I'm going to read all this. All right, 5 through 13. It says, thus says the Lord, cursed is the man who trusts in man and makes flesh his strength. He is like a shrub in the desert and shall not see any good come. He shall dwell in the parched places of the wilderness, in an uninhabited salt land. There's a thing is, yeah, don't put your trust in people, man. People are going to fail you and you're not going to succeed. I think this also means ourselves as well. We can't put our trust in anybody, any human being, any leader, any world leader, any person, even ourselves, because, you know, human beings are going to disappoint. It's just the truth of the matter. Blessed is the man who trusts in the Lord, whose trust is the Lord. He is like a tree planted by water that sends out its roots by the stream and does not fear when heat comes, for its leaves remain green, and is not anxious in the year of drought, for it does not cease to bear fruit. The heart is deceitful above all things. This is again why we can't trust ourselves. Our own heart is deceitful and will get us in trouble if we just solely follow our heart. Follow your heart. Follow your heart. You hear it all the time. Now, I do think we should be following our gut instincts with a lot of things, but at the end of the day, this is one reason why I just think it's so important for those of us who are Christians, put our faith in God and not in ourselves and not in, you know, just following your heart because, yeah, our heart is deceitful. How many times do we want what isn't good for us? In hindsight 2020, we see, oh, yeah, glad that didn't happen. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately sick. Who can understand it? I, the Lord, search the heart and test the mind, to give every man according to his ways, according to the fruit of his deeds. Like the partridge that gathers a brood that she did not hatch, so is he who gets riches, but not by justice. In the midst of his days they will leave him, and at his end he will be a fool. A glorious throne is set on high from the beginning, and is the place of our sanctuary, O Lord, the hope of Israel. All who forsake you shall be put to shame. Those who turn away from you shall be written in the earth, for they have forsaken the Lord, the fountain of living water. All right. And that's that. I hope that helps somebody today. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to support me and my content, please check out. I have a link in the description of my Subscribestar link. That helps me a ton. Also, my social media. I have my link tree if you want to follow me anywhere else. Thank you again for hanging out. I will see you all tomorrow. And in the meantime, go boom.